In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a side swept bang. This is a mannequin that I did with a little bit shorter on one side and it goes longer on the other. And it's slightly tapered so that it just wants to move to the side. This particular cut, yes, is called a side swept bang, but you're starting to see what we call curtain bangs right now. So this same technique can be used for a curtain bang, parted in the middle, same technique. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to make sure of when you're getting ready to do your bang trim is to make sure that you've mapped it out or parted it off properly. So and you can see here, I have separated her hair in the front part of her head. But that means like up here is the highest point of her head, and you come a little bit more forward. This whole area is the front part of her head. I have created a parting from the recession, and you can kind of find where to part off right at the edge of the eyebrow on either side. I like to call these exit points. And then separate everything else away. That way you are sure not to cut hair that you don't want to cut. All right. So the tools that you're going to need is a water bottle, 2 different types of shears, and clips. I like to use these clips, and I like to have these little baby clips here because these help a lot if you're working with shorter hair. I'm going to lightly mist it just a little bit. I think it's really important when you are cutting a fringe to not have it really wet. You want to let the hair talk to you a little bit. There's sometimes calyx and movement, or the hair wants to bounce a little bit, and you want to be able to see that when you're cutting a fringe. So we're going to sweep it from the left side to the right side. A little bit more. So we're going to be working on a pivot. And what that means is I'm going to take a guide, I'm going to take a section from the from the top of the parietal, or the front part of the section, and it's going to be right in the middle of the brow of the side of that you're wanting to have it sweep from. So we're going to take that section and move that away, move this away, and we're going to pull it up. Okay? I'm going to turn her sideways so you can get a better view of the angle. When you're cutting it, we're going to pull it straight out from the head, straight up from where it lives, and we're going to kind of angle our fingers slightly. So it's at a very slow kind of diagonal, and then we're going to cut. And let it fall and see where it sits. Okay? Kind of liking that. So from there, we're going to take it from a pivot, like I said, just like a pie. And I'm going to take my next section. She's a little bit dry, so I'm going to kind of mist her just lightly. And I'm going to take the next section over to where my first section was and pull it up till I see my guide. And then I'm going to cut. It's really important my fingers are mirroring my section, my scissors are mirroring my fingers. All right, working on a pivot again, just so you can kind of see. I'm going to start right here and take another section this way. Okay? And we're going to continue in that pattern until I run out of hair. Key points to keep you on point is to bring that hair, make sure that your guide is coming straight up from the head and the section you're working on is being pulled over to it. And that you want to make sure you do not cut unless you see your guide. There's nothing worse than cutting and guessing and then realizing you cut too much. All right, bring it back over here. Making sure we're over here. I'm going to check my balance, pull it straight up from the head. Looking for my guide. The scissors mirror my fingers, comb it down, check to see how it's working out. Looks like it's working good, getting a little bit dry. next section. This will be my last. There again, make sure you get the tangles out. Pulling it all the way over, so you're dealing with a stationary guide, pulling straight out from the head. My fingers at a slight angle from short to long. The hair is not completely wet because I want to see how it's going to bounce. You gotta let the hair talk to you a little bit. Come back here. Now we're going to move to the other side, working on a pivot, bringing it up. We can just do this whole section, I think, and be able to see. So we're just bringing it over to our guide, mirroring it with our scissors, seeing the guide, and cutting. And then you've got it. You've got a beautiful side swept bang.